Imagine a world where the most pressing issues of our time are left unaddressed, where problems like inequality, climate change, and poverty continue to escalate. Now, imagine a landscape where traditional solutions fall short, leaving society grasping for new ideas and approaches. Who do we turn to for solutions? When I say the word innovator, what comes into your head? Maybe a scientist in a lab coat, or a tech billionaire, or perhaps even a child prodigy. But these are the faces that we imagine to be the change makers of our society. But the key to solving our most complex issues lie not just in the hands of these conventional innovators, but also in the hands of the unexpected, the ordinary, and the downright peculiar. What I hope you understand by the end of this talk is that innovation looks something like this. It's confusing, strange, and a little bit stupid. And the best innovators are the ones that you would least expect. I am one of those constantly confused and sometimes stupid-looking people that considers myself to be an innovator. Hi, my name's Tayyaba, and it is an absolute pleasure to meet you. I am 25 years old, I'm on the autistic spectrum, and I grew up below the poverty line. I'm also not just a one, but a two-time college dropout. And most importantly, I am an abuse survivor who lives with permanent brain damage. When I was 15, I actually went to go see a neurologist. And I got hit with words that would forever change how I view my time in this world. You are at high risk to experience early onset dementia in your 30s. I was just 15. I was just 15 and somehow halfway through my life, which meant I had 15 years to do something with my life, and that something that I wanted to do was to innovate. I didn't know how, when, what, where, what. All I knew, I was dead set on this dying wish, literally. And the question was now, how? I didn't have any mentors or networks, so I was very, very much alone on this journey. So through accident or perhaps divine timing, my wish came true. And over the last decade, I have not only worked towards reversing my diagnosis, but also have had the experience of consulting and leading medtech and industrial companies. I've led independent research on plastic-eating fungi, and I've also supported a multi-million-dollar corporate innovation fund. And today, I run a water tech startup where we help factories with water management, as well as to help them achieve true net neutrality. Not too shabby, right? And I look pretty good in a lab coat. And I look pretty good in a lab coat, if I must say so myself. But I never graduated college. I've always worked multiple jobs, and I've always been the outsider in every industry that I entered. So do I qualify as an innovator? What I've gotten to learn over the years is that there's no single face of innovation. Good innovation is the ability to conceive, develop, deliver, and scale an idea, feeling, or thing, right? That's the definition. But the best innovation is to take that idea, feeling, or thing and explain it to someone who could not care less about you or what you have to say. And that is so important when you realize that the world needs more innovators, and we need to start looking for them in different places. So what if we started here? So bear with me while I do some live innovation on stage today, because I'm about to convince every single one of you that you are just 5 steps away from becoming an innovator. I am so proud to say that this process was not part of a single double-blind scientific study, nor was it part of any business review from Harvard Business Review, but it was tried and tested by yours truly over a very long few years, 10 years roughly, which brings me to my first step. Understand that innovation is scrappy and often so very questionable. So with a quick show of hands, how many of you have ever gotten a big red pimple on your face? Yeah? Yeah, so personally, I believe God invented them as a way to humble us mere mortals. But if you're anything like me, once you see that pimple, that's all you can think about. You're picking at it, probing at it, scratching at it. Problems worth innovating are like zits that you just can't shake out of your head. In the innovation industry, this is referred to as human-centered design. But today, we will refer to it as the zit problem. Now, remember, your zit has to come before your ointment, because as an engineer, I constantly see people make a solution and then fit that solution into a problem and shove it in like a bodycon dress that's 3 sizes too small. But a better way to approach this is to figure out your why. What are the problems that drive you or the people around you absolutely insane? The bigger the problem, the better the solution, and the more creative you can be on the way. Well, now that you understand your zit, it's time that we find some ointment. When I first started building things as a kid, I always thought that my solution just had to be perfect, right? Because only the most perfect solutions would save the world. And this often meant that I wouldn't share my ideas. I felt self-conscious about them. Because what if they weren't good enough? What if they made me sound stupid? Or what if what I wanted to build just wasn't possible? Well, lucky for me and all of us, the world has a strikingly different reality. The most life-changing innovation you've seen has come and been discovered through complete accident or through iteration. Perfection is and always will be the enemy to creativity. So screw it, let's push for absurdity. If it doesn't make me raise an eyebrow or clutch my pearls in disgust, you just are not thinking absurdly enough. Which brings me to, as you're jotting down your first, let's say 100 ideas, there's a good chance you're gonna fall into something called the expertise trap. This is where 99 of your ideas are things you've seen before, or they are safe ideas. One method of combating this is through something called cross-pollination. This is where you take your experience or knowledge from one industry and apply it to a problem in a different industry. For example, bubble wrap originally started off as futuristic wallpaper before someone looked at it and said, you know what, this is crazy, hear me out. This could be packaging material. So don't be afraid to steal, and don't be afraid to steal from the universe's best innovator, Mother Nature. This is referred to as biomimicry. When I was working on a biodegradable water filter, we actually scoured the world to find out the best practices, native practices, where you could find plants that had natural filtration capabilities. Because why reinvent the wheel when you can just repurpose it? Now, you remember all the great ideas we thought of on the last step, your 100 ideas? Well, it's time to throw all of them away, because innovation isn't linear. And if anyone tells you otherwise, please do yourself a favor and slowly walk away, because your first few or even 100 ideas may suck. In fact, 99 of my ideas are so bad that you'd question my credibility if I showed you. You don't believe me? All right. Whew. I present to you the AC backpack, the revolutionary solution to heat stress. Picture this, all right, you're a blue-collar worker, you work in construction or in a factory, and you wear this AC unit the size of a backpack on your back, and this helps you prevent heat stroke. Wow, isn't that the best thing you've ever heard of? Damn. Yeah, so my test users actually thought very differently, but at the time, you just couldn't convince me that this was an elite innovation. But if I hadn't been okay to take a step back, I would have never come to this. But even this isn't perfect, because improvement comes from iteration, not perfection. So whatever your idea is, I encourage you to share it with the world. The more you share, the more feedback you'll get. And maybe, just maybe, people will love it. Awesome, let's turn this into a business or an open source project or a community initiative. But maybe, just maybe, people will hate it. And that is even better, because you just saved yourself so much time and money, and now we can get back to work. Because the more feedback you get, the faster you're gonna improve. So from that bulky AC strapped to your back to the sleek second design that you saw was roughly a year's worth of work. It was a year's worth of asking construction workers about their pimples, long brainstorming sessions, many different prototypes, and some very, very blunt feedback. If I remember correctly, the exact words I got was, "I'd rather drop dead than wear that for 12 hours a day." Ooh, that was harsh, but fair, I get it. So trust me, I know it can be scary to get feedback, but innovation requires both humility and humanity. There's just no way around it. And that's it. Those are my 5 steps. Innovation isn't a skill that you're going to learn overnight, but it is one that can be relearned. Because as children, we are all so creative. But as we grow older and our muscles atrophy, so does our creativity. But remember, the need to solve problems around you is ingrained in your DNA. It is who you are. In fact, here are some of the innovators in my life who found their shtick and are problem solvers in their own right. Everything from e-bike retrofits to garage scientists to startup founders developing both fungi-based materials or medtech devices. The bug to build just doesn't discriminate. But innovation isn't just products. Innovation also represents world record holders, climate communicators, the youngest elected ever American politician, and artists who are working with fleeting beauty of nature. Each one of their faces shows innovation in their own respective fields. In their own unique way, would change the world forever. But still, your path may look different than all of us. I'm sure there are some of you today that feel like you are too old. You're too uneducated, you're not creative enough, you're too different. But know that there is a weirdo out there that has complete faith in your abilities, that thinks that you can solve the smallest problems, from making your life a little easier in the morning to the big problems that save us as a society. And look, I will be the first to admit that we have such a long way to go to making room for unconventional innovators and providing them with the resources that they need to thrive. But none of that matters if we can't convince the average person that they have space within this field, that you have space within this field. Because innovation comes in all shapes, all sizes, all colors, and all circumstances. And I'll leave you with one last thing. As you continue on this path of innovation, please be patient with yourself. Innovation is hard. My grandma or my nani used to have a saying, "Sabr ke pal meethe hote," which roughly translates into "the flowers of patience are sweeter." Now, hearing to have sabr or patience while I had a literal ticking time bomb over my head was definitely ironic, but just like 15-year-old Tayyaba, our world is facing a grim reality. The world needs your ideas, perhaps a lot more desperately than you realize. So my question to you is, what would you innovate if you were running out of time? Thank you. Wow.